to health care. But we can't forget about those who have children and families that need to get to the playground, to get to visit grandparents, to be able to get to their first play dates, sometimes dates. It's exciting to be a part of that. It's a great time that we're able to make our buses more inviting to them and their families, and we're ensuring that our bus, our system, is a part of their lives from the very start. And with that, I will turn it over to Senator Granardis.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Demetrius. Good morning, everyone. I'm State Senator Andrew Granardis from Brooklyn. When I contributed state funding for access for the stroller pilot program, I myself was pushing a stroller for my second child and had to navigate the buses with my oldest, who was not in the stroller, and my youngest, folding the stroller up, trying to not have him run away from me, and trying to hold both hands and do everything, all the things that parents have to juggle with and struggle with. So I'm so excited that we're finally announcing that this is going to be expanded to all buses across our system in a true mark of making the system accessible for all. And it's perfect timing because now I'm pushing my third stroller with my third child and trying to navigate the two older ones not running away from me while I'm juggling the stroller with the third one, the third baby. So this could not have happened a better time for me in my personal life. But really, you know, when we talk about accessibility, we often focus on the elevators and our subway system. Our bus system, which is just as important to the fabric of our transit system, is equally as important to ensure that it's accessible for all. And that does not mean just people who are mobility limited, but it also means people who are pushing shopping carts, strollers, and other types of devices. And so this is a big win for all New Yorkers. This is a big win for families. This is a big win for New York City Transit. And I'm excited that I was able to help contribute some state funding, along with my great colleagues here, to get this done. So with that, I want to call up my colleague in the state legislature, a great partner of mine, Assemblymember Nili Rozic. Nili?
Senator Granardis and our great borough president and Demetrius and his entire team for making this happen, for all of us families, New York City families. Moms, this one's for you. Dads, this one's for you. And to all caregivers across New York City, this is for you. I know, as every parent or caregiver knows, that getting around the city with a young kid, possibly more, is super challenging. And finding simple solutions is what government should be doing. So something as simple as boarding a bus, hopefully with your stroller, your kids, your 37 bags, like I travel around the city, will no longer be as stressful. That's why I'm so excited for today's announcement, the expansion of the pilot to be inclusive across all boroughs, to make sure that parents across the city know that New York City Transit is also open for them. And that's why I'm so excited to be a small piece of the puzzle in securing state funding to make it happen. I know out by me in the outer boroughs, we only have buses to travel on, and so ensuring that more of us can travel safely and with greater ease with our families actually strengthens our transit system and makes it work for everyone. Thank you so much. And with that, I'm going to pass it to our great borough president.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Demetrius. Our colleagues in government, Senator Granardis and Senator Rozic, I miss you terribly, not being in Albany, but so pleased that the work that we did together while we were there and getting capital funding for this important project is now coming to bear fruit. And that's so important because I've been there too. I only have 2 kids, Senator Granardis, but it was a struggle. I mean, these strollers are heavy. They are heavy and they are cumbersome. And when you have a kid or 2 kids or 3 kids with you, it's almost impossible to board a bus without assistance. And sometimes you miss the bus because there's only one of you and there's a kid in your other arm. And this project is really going to make a difference for families. But you know, I want to shout out Arpina, who's here, who was, as I understand it, one of the first test takers. She was 1 or 2 years old at that point, and now she's a vibrant 6-year-old. But this project is going to be so important to young families across Manhattan and across the 5 boroughs. And you are actually standing here at parent, ground zero, which is Abingdon Square. You see the playground here, the Bleecker Street playground, and the park behind you. There's so many parents who are going to be able to take advantage of this, whether, for example, on the M8, which is such an important bus route here in Greenwich Village. So thank you very much, New York City Transit. Thank you, MTA, for listening to the people and to the parents. And I also want to thank the disability community for their activism in this regard. They make an enormous difference, and we've seen that with the expansion of elevator access, which also is going to help both the disability community, older New Yorkers, and parents with all those strollers. So with that in mind, I'm very honored to introduce a man who has led this effort in the MTA for so many years, MTA's Chief Accountability and Accessibility Officer, Q. Arroyo.
Thank you so much, Borough President. Good morning, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here today. I absolutely love this celebration. Today we celebrate that this pilot, which many of the elected officials who spoke and who you heard of, Joanne Simon isn't here, but this is no longer a pilot, folks. Now this is here to stay. This is now the MTA's Open Stroller program, which is here to stay. So thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you who funded this program. I just heard this morning that we are over 70% of all existing buses retrofitted already, so that this is a reality for the hundreds of thousands of families in New York City. Folks, as you heard, I am the Chief Accessibility Officer, and it is such a pleasure for me to serve in this capacity at the MTA. I am not the Chief Disability Officer. And that is a very important distinction that I often make, because today we're celebrating accessibility. And accessibility is universal. And it touches the hundreds of thousands of families with children in New York. On average, we have over 150,000 births here in New York City. That's 150,000 new strollers hitting our pavements, coming into our subways, coming onto our buses. Daily, we have nearly 2 million bus riders. And a lot of those people are families with children and strollers, and the disability community for whom the bus system has been a lifeline for us to get around. I am proud to say that the MTA was the first system in the country to have a fully accessible bus network with, yeah, that deserves a clap, it does. With ramps to help all members of the disability community move around, people who need access. And those ramps are not just there for people like myself, for people with mobility device. Anyone who has an access need can ask the driver to lower that bus and open that ramp. Daily, that ramp is open over 4,000 times a day. That is New Yorkers who rely on the bus systems to get around. That is what we're celebrating here today. In addition to preserving the integrity of the accessibility spots that all of our buses have, we've now created an additional open area where 2 used to sit, 4 can stand, or an open stroller can now be parked. And that is what we're celebrating here today. And it is an amazing thing for us to celebrate. My favorite part of working at this MTA with this leadership team, with Demetrius, with Jano, and the folks, is that we are not confined to what exists. We are open to reimagining the system and thinking about what can be and what's needed. And with the advocacy community, thank you so much. We have 2 amazing parents who were there from the beginning. So thank you, Christine, and thank you for your little daughter and everybody who comes out, because this has been a beautiful partnership with the disability community, with the advocacy community, with our bus operators. We were at the table ideating how to make this work, how to make this a feasible program, and that's why we are excited to celebrate this today. Folks, unas cuantas palabras en español. Para mí es un placer estar aquí hoy celebrando el nuevo programa en la MTA, en nuestro sistema de autobuses de coches abiertos. Hoy un 70% de todos los autobuses en las calles ya están rediseñados para tener un espacio abierto donde 2 se sentaban, 4 se pueden parar y un coche puede existir abierto. Así que para mí es un placer estar aquí con los oficiales electos, con Demetrius Crislow de la MTA, celebrando esta nueva realidad para la MTA. Así que con eso, muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí. Thank you all for being here with us today. Demetrius, back to you.
I also want to give a quick shout out to accessibility advocates who have been here from the start. Folks like Dustin Jones, Chris Greif, and Michael Ring, all proponents for doing the right thing for our public transportation system. So we value their input, value their partnership. And with that, back to Mr. Minton.
Well, they may have questions. The legend Dustin Jones in the house. That doesn't happen every day, huh? All right, let's start the questioning. We'll start on topic with Samantha Liebman, New York 1, who I think had to walk about a minute and a half to get here from her studio.
Yeah, so is this no longer a pilot? Is this now being adopted universally?
So yes, we're at about 75% of the fleet now, and the plan is to continue rolling out throughout the rest of the year. And as we get new buses, they're going to come on already prepared with it.
Where in the bus, I know we're going to see it, but where in the bus is this going to be found?
Yeah, so it's just across from the rear door, and you'll see the two flip-up seats that are easy accessible and designated as such.
And depending on the model, it could be in different locations, right? I don't know if Jose has that or you've got that. But I think it moves around depending on what model bus.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Gregory Mocker, who is on topic for us.
Hello,
Pix
everybody.
11.
Question for Kamel. You mentioned the process. Could you talk a little bit about what you looked at, and do you think that it kind of took longer than maybe expected?
Yeah, so it did not take longer than expected. You know, we wasted no time. The disability community, the advocates were the ones who suggested that we bring in everybody that would be involved here. So we had bus operators, we had people from the administration come in, and we had parents and caregivers and disability advocates who were advocating that we preserve the integrity of those spots up front for people with mobility disabilities as the ADA calls for, right? So we knew that we weren't touching those spaces. We were talking with the operators, they were at the table telling us the conversation that happened today, that consternation, that struggle when a parent's trying to board a bus with an open stroller and how much time was wasted. So, the conductors were also advocating for this to happen. So it took us exactly the time that it needed to take us for us to ensure that we heard every voice, that everyone's needs were met, and that we were able to provide something that was helpful to every rider, not just those with disabilities, not just folks with strollers, but every rider's needs were taken into account here.
All right, we're staying on topic for the moment. There's Mary Lynn Buckley from 1010 Winds, 92.3 on the FM, the Odyssey app. Mary Lynn?
You got it right. Can you tell us exactly what the process is for a parent that is juggling, maybe a stroller and two kids? Do they wait by the rear of the bus and wait for the driver to make this happen, or do they have to alert them and then walk back for it to happen?
So we're encouraging them to get on the bus, deal directly with the bus operator. The bus operator, it can work in two ways. We've seen it, and I actually talked to the bus operator just recently. Many of the customers are very familiar with how to raise the seats. So they'll do it themselves. But the bus operator is also prepared if the parent isn't able to do so because you have too many bags or too many that you have more children that you're dealing with. More children than you have hands to deal with. The bus operator is there to help. So yeah, we're ready to take this on.
If I could add to that, right now we're asking everybody to board at the front of the bus. They're going to pay for that ride, right? So everybody's coming in, they're going to pay for that ride, and then they're going to go back. If they have an open stroller, as Tim said, depending on the model, you have different configurations. Like Demetrius just said, some of them you have to flip up the seats. Others, it's already an open space. We studied this, and like I said before, where two people used to sit, four can stand. That space is open for people to stand and occupy, and when needed, a parent is able to come there because they're decaled. They know that is where they belong. That is where an open stroller can be. So depending on the bus, you have different configurations, different options for that rider.
All right, anybody else on topic? Jose Martinez back there from the City Reporter. Jose.
Hi, everyone.
13 minutes last night on Fox 5.
Thanks for watching. That makes one of you.
Opining? Talking about buses.
What's the size of the entire bus fleet, and by when will this makeover be completed?
So we have just under 6,000 buses, and the goal is to have it done by the end of the year. But first quarter. I wouldn't argue if we were able to roll it out by first quarter of next year.
And is this being done in all the depots? Is that where the work is being done?
Across depots, yes, all depots. And again, we have new buses that are coming already prepared.
All right. On topic, Telemundo, go ahead. Espanol or?
Oh, no, in English. NBC's fine. So for people who have pets, does the same policy apply for people who have pets in strollers?
So I appreciate the question. I'm going to just say, while we love our pets, there are proper ways to transport them in our system. This is really a focus, something that we have worked really hard for. Parents who are dedicated to making sure our system is accessible, and so this is for you, the pilot stroller, the formal pilot, no longer a pilot for strollers.
All right. Anybody else on topic? Fine. We're going to take a few off-topic questions. Many of you know how this works. It goes all over the place. You're welcome to remain where you are and enjoy the show, or if you prefer, you can have someplace else to be. It's up to you. All right. They've elected to stay. Let's start off topic with Haley Brown of your New York Post.
Okay. Tonight's bus rider town hall. Will the MTA be there? If so, what will they be listening for? And what effect, if any, could this public opinion session have on MTA's bus redesign plans?
So one of the things that we at the MTA have been continually said is that we are the new MTA. Our chairman has said it several times over again. We want feedback from the public. We want feedback from our riders. And the more feedback we get, it allows us to make a better system for everyone. For anyone who continues to take our transportation network, you want to make sure that your ideas are heard, your thoughts are incorporated. And so this tonight will be a great opportunity for us to hear firsthand what's going on for customers, how their experiences with our service, and things that we could be doing better. So we look forward to hearing. I will be there personally. So yeah, bring it on.
All right. Continuing off topic with Greg Mocker over there, Pix 11 once again. Greg?
President Critchlow, could you update us on the vacuum train fire? What happened there? Is it affecting the others? How many are in service now as well?
So thank you for the question. First off, the system at large is safe. There's no question about safety of the system. We have 3 vacuum trains, one of which the train itself is a consist built of a diesel and several cars that are a separate consist that essentially vacuum up trash off the tracks, put them into a bin where it's stored, and we take it to a yard to be dumped. In this instance, something was sucked up into the system that caught what appears to be a fire within the filter system. And FDNY was there within a matter of minutes, was able to put it out. We were able to get the train out to the siding, and it's now in one of our repair facilities being looked at. We have two vacuum trains that are still in service. These have done a great job all together in cleaning up the system, reducing the amount of debris that's on the roadbed, but also reducing track fires, because less trash means less track fires. So we love having a vacuum train, and thankfully, while we had some employees that did go to the hospital, thankfully all are in good shape. No one was seriously injured.
All right, Sam Levin right there with an off topic.
Yes. Bus fare evasion continues to be a problem, and I know the MTA has been writing a lot of fare evasion summonses for through their Eagle teams. But do you think not having an NYPD presence there as well is, hurting the effort? That people know that they can walk away from an Eagle team member and get off the bus and there's no consequences. Maybe seeing some actual police may help in that effort as a deterrent.
So, fare evasion obviously has been one of our priorities at the MTA, not just on our bus side, but on subway side. We put a lot of efforts into the subway side, but also on the bus side. The Eagle team has done a fantastic job in being able to change what is a culture in buses. Since the pandemic, folks came back, and there's almost this desire to get on the system and not pay. Even folks who have the means choose not to. And so what the Eagle team members have been doing is talking to customers And when the Eagle team member gets on there, there's little confrontation. Individuals know I didn't pay, and therefore I'm going to get a summons as a result. We found that the majority, 98% of the people who our Eagle team deals with, essentially will take their summons, and the hope is that they will become fair-paying riders in the future. So, of course, we appreciate the partnership with NYPD. They've been great at helping us, giving us resources throughout the subway system, and so always appreciate their efforts when they support any of our initiatives. They were there for many of the initiatives that we did early on for our rides with the Eagle team. So we appreciate any effort that they do to support us.
All right, and we'll close it out with Jose Martinez of the City Reporter. Once again, you're off topic, sir.
Hi, hello again, Demetrius. I understand you have 92% of bus rides that are paid now are using Omni, but how are you reaching those remaining 8%, particularly among older riders and those who still pay with coins? Also, when will coin payment no longer be an option on the buses?
Yeah. So one thing we've been doing is just being vocal. We have been out there in every outlet possible. I have personally gone to a lot of the senior centers and talked directly with residents about the transition. I would say a good portion of them have already swapped over. We sent out Omni cards for those who were reduced fare, so a lot of the senior folks have them already, and they're already utilizing it. So we're talking about the end of coin on bus will happen when we're ready to get rid of the MetroCard and fully roll over to Omni. We've been saying it's going to be sometime at the end of the year. No specific date released at this point, but we are doing everything technologically to get ourselves ready for it. Having our folks, advising our folks on how to manage the system, training them on transitioning from MetroCard to Omni, but also getting the Eagle teams ramped up so that we can do a now proof of payment system. Where they're actually able to check individuals by their credit card payment, their whatever they use, their phone, whatever they use to pay for their access to the system to verify that they actually paid to get into the system.
Tim, actually, let me add to that, because we have an amazing retail network, and that's what we want customers to focus on. We have an incredible retail network of stores in their blocks, in their neighborhoods. Gone are the days of having to come into a subway station to get a transaction in a MetroCard, right? In the Omni ecosystem, we have retail vendors. That means CVS, Walgreens, delis that we've partnered with, where a customer who's a coin-based customer today, a cash customer, can go into these retails and do these transactions, upload a value into their Omni cards. They can do it from their homes if they have access to a computer. If not, our seniors and our low-income folks love our mobile sales van. We have an amazing program that Demetrius and his team run. It's a mobile sales van where you can go and have transactions in your neighborhoods. Look it up, mobile sales. We go to every neighborhood. There are no transit deserts, there are subway deserts, right? But access to the MTA, there's no desert of that. Not only do we have the retail centers, we have the customer service centers. We are everywhere. We are in every community. So that's what I would add to that.
All right, anybody else? Great. Thanks everybody for being here. For those who are here in person, reporters, you have a chance to get on the bus. One of those buses I think is going in service, which means you can ride it if you want. And for the rest of you, we do want to take some pictures. If you wouldn't mind, over by the bus, the lighting will be better. Thanks everybody. Thanks so much.